This is the You, Me, and BTC Podcast. Welcome to episode 31. For today's show, we have lots of little things to talk about. We've been collecting shorter bits of content for several months, and we thought we could put them all together into a collection of mini discussions. So today, we'll be sharing a project that John is working on for Adam Kokesh, a short essay about money, Bitcoin, and the source of value, a Bitcoin song that we all wrote together, and much more. We'd also like to welcome any new listeners that we have over at Chain Radio. Please visit our website, youmeandbtc.com, if you want to hear more episodes. We'd also appreciate it if you could click the subscribe button. Your hosts today are Tim Baker, John Stuart, and myself, Daniel Brown. Here we go. Hey guys, it's You, Me, and BTC back again for episode 31. I'm Daniel Brown, and I'm here with the best co-hosts in the world, Tim Baker.
Oh, thank you, Daniel.
Actually, I was talking about John Stewart, is what I meant when I said the best co-host. And I'm here with John Stewart.
I'm actually two co-hosts.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I think we're going to call this episode Bits and Pieces, because we have a lot of little things we want to get to. Just things that have built up over the past few weeks that we haven't had a ton of time to put in the episode, or we didn't know quite where they would fit. We're going to do them today. A lot of little things. The first thing is actually that we just want to quickly mention is that song that you just heard for the intro. That's actually, it's kind of going to be our theme song. I mean, there's not like Bitcoin words or anything in it, but it's going to be the song that we're going to play at the beginning of all of our episodes, or most of them anyway, just because we had John kind of specially design it to work out pretty well for an intro, and it's going to be recognizable after we use it enough. So yeah, that's pretty cool. If you didn't know, John is an artist. I used to be able to say that he has done all of our music ever for the show. I can't say that anymore, right? Because, well, first of all, thanks, John, for doing that theme song. It's pretty cool, and hopefully our listeners like it too.
No problem.
But yeah, actually the reason that I can't quite say that John has done all of our music is because of the Jeffrey Tucker interview, which we also wanted to mention real quick. We released that, well, actually, we're recording today on Monday, and technically I released it after midnight last night, so it actually came out today. But we just wanted to mention that because Jeffrey Tucker's pretty cool, and we wanted to remind everybody that if you haven't seen it yet, there is a Jeffrey Tucker interview out there. He talks about all kinds of cool stuff about Bitcoin, and the whole thing with the music is he talked about the song Let It Go from Frozen, and I played that at the end of that interview. So sorry, John, almost all of our music.
Yeah, I guess I get to share it now with Robert Lopez.
I don't know who Robert Lopez is.
I'm guessing it's the guy who did Frozen, I guess.
Yeah, and he also did, like, the Book of Mormon and stuff, which explains, like, well, I don't need to get into that. I'm not going to get into, like, critique of music here.
So you could say that your music is on par with, I don't even remember his name now, but with this guy. Anyway, so check that out. It's a cool interview. He talks about Liberty.me too, which we mentioned in our last episode, and that's something we still are encouraging you to check out. You can get 30 days free, and you can also get $5 off every month, actually, for life. If you use the promo code YMB, you can save $5 a month for life. And you know what they say, $5 saved is $5 earned. I mean, it used to be a penny, but with inflation, they had to change it to $5, so.
That was clever, Dan.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anyway, check out that interview. It's just on our website, like everything else we do. Hey, we have another cool thing that is coming up. Again, we're recording on Monday. You'll be hearing this on Thursday. But today, this Monday, is the first day that a brand new internet radio station is ever airing. It's called Chain Radio. You can check out chainradio.com to see it. But the reason we care about it is because we're actually supposed to be on the station. They're going to play our show once a week. How cool is that? Our time slot is Mondays at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. So that's why today's Monday, and we're going to hear it for the first time tonight. And I can't wait for that. I mean, hopefully it all works out and goes well, but we should be hearing that for the first time tonight. That doesn't really mean much for you guys because you won't hear this for a while, but that's really cool, and we're excited for that. So I'm actually just for fun. I don't know, just because it's kind of cool, and I worked on it today, and it sounds kind of interesting. I'm going to play the ad that we made for Chain Radio. I think they're going to play this every once in a while on the station, just an ad for our podcast. So here goes. The You, Me, and BTC Podcast.
Cryptocurrency decrypted.
We're sitting down right now with Mr. Jason King. If you want to with the government, feed homeless people, man.
Mr. Jeffrey Tucker. I lost 10 Bitcoin one time.
With Andreas Antonopoulos. If you don't know who he is, I don't really know why you're listening to our podcast, so.
I received $500 in crisp Wendy's. I discovered it was fake.
Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Chain Radio.
All right. That was a lot of fun to make. It sounds kind of funny. All those voices are actually mine, and I just screwed them up as much as I could. Honestly, to me, it sounds kind of creepy. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd go with creepy to describe it.
Is that, I don't know, that might not be completely bad. I mean, creepy.
No, it's interesting. It draws people in. You just don't know what kind of crowd you're drawing in.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't know. That's
not
creepy.
that bad, bro.
Well, actually, and also in that clip there, we have a new tagline that we came up with. Cryptocurrency decrypted. Hopefully I didn't modify that too much. Hopefully you could understand it and everything in the ad. But anyway, yeah, we were just brainstorming the other night, and that was one of our ideas. Kind of clicked, and we kind of liked it. We're going to try it out, use it in a few places, see how well it works. I don't know, we just think it's kind of cool. It's short and simple and kind of catchy, and it even kind of describes what we do and everything. So, I mean, in a way, you could say we decrypt cryptocurrency. We explain it, make it understandable, stuff like that. Right, guys?
I mean, I don't know how much I do of that, but yeah, I imagine you help some.
Or at least we try.
Yeah, that is the goal here.
Exactly. That's a good point. We try to. Who knows how good of a job we do. Anyway, yeah, so another little bit that we want to mention in our Bits and Pieces show, I guess, episode, is a pretty cool thing that John's been working on. Actually, I think it's more than pretty cool. I think it's like the best thing in the world. Not quite. Pretty close, though. John, you want to tell us about your project with Adam Kokesh?
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a stretch to say a project with Adam Kokesh, because it's, well, I don't know. I'll just explain it. So, if you don't know who Adam Kokesh is, he's kind of a political Well, I don't feel comfortable calling him political. He's an activist because he's apolitical.
Right.
He's a voluntarist, anarchist, advocate, and activist. And he recently wrote a book called Freedom. I guess he had last year he was in jail actually for civil disobedience. If you didn't hear about that, it's probably worth looking up because it was kind of a big deal. But he came up with the idea while he was in there to sort of write a book that would be like the ultimate outreach tool for explaining anarchist philosophy, I guess, and just talking about freedom. And he kind of wanted it to be a way for people something that people could like show their friends and stuff to explain it to them. And I guess it was a month or two ago, he kind of, on one of his live shows that he does, he just said, hey, it would be pretty awesome if somebody would like remix this, kind of turn it into like a party jam thing or whatever that people could just play and dance to and freak out or whatever. I don't really know. It was kind of, I guess it kind of seems like he was kind of just throwing it out there. So then I emailed him and told him I'd be interested in doing it, and he was kind of like, oh, this is going to be great. Yeah, go for it. So I've been working on that, kind of putting stuff together. It's going a little slower than I had hoped, but taking on like a 3-hour plus piece of thing that you're trying to remix is pretty intense.
Yeah, I've heard a couple samples and I'm just amazingly impressed. Just some really awesome electronic music. I could listen to that stuff forever, I think. And I think other people are really going to like it too. I mean, just, it's such a more casual way of sharing music. I mean, a book is one thing, and that's, not many people like to read. An audiobook is a little bit better because you don't really have to put as much effort into it. But this is just exciting and fun and everything. So yeah, we're going to play a sample for everybody. Are we ready to go? This is the introduction.
Freedom. Written and read by Adam Kokesh. Right now is an amazing time to be alive. The human experience is as rich and delightful as ever, and every day carries the promise of a better world. Not everyone sees it that way, but on the whole, Team People is doing very well. We have come a long way, and that's something worth taking a step back to appreciate. But the current path is not sustainable. Governments are transferring more wealth than ever from the poor to the rich. We are rapidly approaching a point where we must adapt or perish. The short view of history tempts pessimism. We might see the recent steps backward as the triumph of evil over good, or at least a turn toward mutual annihilation. They are merely the steps backward in a long progression of one step backward and 2 steps forward. A truly free society does not exist just because we have been convinced we are free. A truly free society cannot exist when we have been so thoroughly propagandized as to define freedom in terms of government-granted privilege rather than as a universal moral principle. However, a free society is inevitable because the global paradigm is shifting as we learn how to better assert our right of self-ownership. We all know life is better with freedom, that our own individual experiences don't mean nearly as much without the ability to assert our will rather than having our choices limited by force. Many of us today still experience lives dominated by the edicts of others. Many still live under the threat of death from war. While some are doing relatively well and enjoying a great deal of personal wealth and autonomy, many are not. Even those who are doing well are living in a less vibrant and robust environment due to violations of individual freedom around the world. Any act of violence or threat of violence between individuals represents a violation of someone's freedom. The great illusion of the current paradigm of statism is that governments achieve a worthwhile reduction of violence. Governments are the greatest cause of violence in the world today. They are coercive monopolies with only an illusion of public support. Everything they do is based on a presumed right to point guns at people who are acting peacefully. Many of us are dependent on government, and because it takes on a large role in society, one can claim that everyone benefits to some degree. This doesn't mean the benefits justify the cost, and the vast majority of us experience a net loss to the government. Even if we are convinced that most people have a net gain from government, we can always do better without the violence. Freedom is the ability to exercise your will within your rights without the threat of force from anyone else. It's really that simple. You own yourself. No one can claim even partial ownership over you without violating your rights. By abolishing statism, we will achieve a world free of miserable victims and miserable victimizers. We will create a world in which all relations are free of force and coercion. We will see each other as partners in the human experience, united in our desire to live free and realize our potential. We are destined to build a society based on respect and cooperation.
Oh man, I love that. I really do.
Yeah, I was dancing here a little bit. I mean, didn't look nice, but
well, yeah, it's a good thing it's an audio show then, Tim, so nobody has to see that.
Yeah, I hope it makes some people dance. Actually, I haven't listened to that in a while, and I think it's probably going to sound even a little bit better than that because I've been tweaking stuff as I go along. People trash talk like electronic music makers because they say like it's so easy or whatever. I can tell you that it is not. It's way easier for me to write on real instruments. Yeah, that's part of why it's taken so long, but hopefully it's worth it because it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, it definitely gets my head bobbing a lot. The one drawback, which I've told you before, John, and this obviously isn't your fault, but I mean, the audiobook was created before there was any plan for this remix, so it would have been nice if maybe he was like singing lyrics or something, or like screaming them or something. I don't know, but still, the music is amazing, and I think people will love it. So
I actually did talk to him about, because he said he might be willing to re-record it, and I said, well, if I send you some like rhythm tracks to like read it to. Could you like read it in time or whatever?
Oh, nice.
And he was like, I think you're way overestimating my ability or my rhythmic abilities. And he also said he was kind of hoping that I'd be able to just work with what he had because it would take him a long time to get to it and stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm just doing the best I could with it. I was going to try cutting up the vocals and putting them in time, but doing that for this long of a thing would take me ages.
Yeah, that's definitely true. 3 hours or something. It's also worth mentioning that, I mean, we recognize this isn't directly related to Bitcoin, but, you know, it's something that matters to us, and you definitely know that if you've listened to the show before. We care about these kind of things. We care about keeping people free, and we care about not forcing people to do stuff. And you know, it's, in general, the Bitcoin community cares about these things too. It's not a one-to-one correlation, but we've said before how the Bitcoin and the Liberty community are pretty well connected. And, you know, that's why we had Jeffrey Tucker on, like we were talking about. So anyway, the next thing we have lined up is a collection of kind of little mini interviews that we did when we were at the Bitcoin and the Beltway conference. We just went around, asked people, what was your favorite part about the conference? And since we're talking about the conference, we definitely want to throw in another thank you to our sponsors. We're getting close to the end of our conference content. It's possible this will be everything. I'll have to think a little bit, but we want to thank our sponsors. Like, we just can't do it enough because they got us there. It was our first conference. We had a ton of fun, got a lot of great content. In fact, that's even where the Jeffrey Tucker interview came from too. So thank you, API Coin and Monero. You were so good to us and did some amazing things for us, and we couldn't have done it without you. So thank you. API Coin, that's apicoin.io if you want to check that out. It's a Bitcoin API. We know the creator. We've had him on the show. His name is Guido, or at least that's what he calls himself. He's done a lot of great things. He's working with some great people, and he wants to work with you. He is still developing the API, so if you need anything special, I know he wants to work with you, and he can get things set up for you. If you have a ATM for Bitcoin or a Bitcoin wallet that you're working on, anything like that, get in touch with him. Check out apicoin.io.
Yeah, I just wanted to personally, from Tim, thank Monero.cc just for helping us get to the conference, like Daniel said, for giving us that opportunity. Monero is a very privacy-centric and security-centered cryptocurrency working off of the CryptoNote technology. It has a lot more innate security and privacy than Bitcoin does. And
Right.
if that's the kind of thing you're looking into and that's what you want out of your cryptocurrency, definitely look into them.
Right, yeah, I think innate is a good word to use there because we're not entirely sure. We're going to see how everything plays out, but you can get some pretty good anonymity with Bitcoin. But yeah, like you said, the thing with Monero is that it's innate. It's built in. As soon as you have Monero, you have anonymity. So yeah, check out monero.cc. So we're going to play these interviews for you. Just a lot of little things that people liked and what they wanted to talk about. A few of my favorites that I want to mention. Oscar's in here. You want to be listening for him. He's
Yes, thank you, Oscar, for at least playing along. Some of your coworkers didn't.
right. I think he had a tray of hors d'oeuvres on his arm, and well, you'll see. Anyway, and also MK Lords. We talked to her real quick too to get her thoughts on the conference. So
Because I guess we were too scared to get a real interview.
yeah, maybe we were. I mean, we're not good with girls, so.
Says
Or something.
you two, I'm all...
Right. Anyway, here goes. All right, can you tell us your name and what your favorite part about the conference was so far?
Yeah, well, I'm in Egypt. My name is Nick Budidharma. My favorite part about this conference is really just meeting other Bitcoin enthusiasts and advocates in the space and getting to talk with them and learn more about this economy that's up and coming. So,
Can you tell us your name and what your favorite part of the conference was?
Yes, Ian DiMartino from Cointelegraph, and I would say probably that Andrea Antonopoulos speech to kick it off.
Tell us your name and your favorite part.
Hi, my name is Andy Tickemeyer, and my favorite part would have been the Bitcoins Not Bombs conference.
Can you tell us your name and what your favorite part about the conference was?
Yeah, my name is Mohammed Al-Khatib, and my favorite part of the conference was that I learned a lot about mining and all the technicality that goes under Bitcoin, and that's something that you cannot find anywhere else.
Sweet. Thanks.
Yep.
Name and favorite part about the conference?
Jacob Sears, and my favorite part about this conference has been being able to meet with everyone and connect with everyone that's doing similar things and has the same interests as me. It's a very nice change from being up in Alaska where there's not much of a scene.
Can you tell us your name and your favorite part about the conference?
I'm Andrew Carpenter, and my favorite part was one word, networking, I'd say. Yeah.
Can you tell us your name and what your favorite part about the conference was?
My name is Niraj, and my favorite part about the conference is seeing so many enthusiasts come together and speak with such authentic fervor about Bitcoin.
Can you tell us your name and your favorite part about the conference?
Hi, my name's Hunter, and my favorite part about the conference is just how approachable all of the key speakers and guests really were, and how you're able to communicate with those individuals about all their thoughts and projects that they're working on.
My name is Brian Roddenberry, and my favorite part of the conference is it's everybody's willing to help you out in understanding a lot of the difficult concepts of cryptocurrencies there and the blockchain technology. And it's very small in the kind of the aspect that it's not a whole lot of people trying to get at what you're trying to do.
Can you tell us your name and your favorite part about the conference?
Hi, my name is Tim Coyne, and at this Bitcoin conference, I enjoyed most listening to Trace Morgan talk about the gold standard.
My name is Paul Poy from Airbits, and the talk by Christoph Atlas this morning on the Silk Road was probably my favorite part about the conference. He had an amazing talk, really moving. I think everybody should at least go check out his talk online when it gets published.
Jeremy Kanda from Team Blockchain. I think it's awesome that we're here in DC. We're 2 blocks away from where coins and paper are actually minted. We're here getting rid of that building.
Can you tell us your name and your favorite part about the conference?
Oh yeah, my name is Kang, and my favorite part of the conference is meeting all the freedom-loving peoples that we have around this community.
My name is Johan Eriksson, and my favorite part about the conference is meeting all these people and getting to know them and talking to them.
I'm Dylan Ryan. My favorite part is the intelligent conversation and open-mindedness and the strive for real change.
Can you tell us your names and your favorite part about the conference?
I'm MK Lords. I helped organize the conference. My favorite part so far has been the really positive energy that everyone's brought. So I've heard a lot of really good feedback, and the speakers have all been wonderful. I really enjoyed Patrick Burns' talk, and Leif and Lamar, FIVA. So those have been my favorites so far.
My name's Tim Fry. I'm president of Roberts & Roberts Brokerage. My favorite aspect of the conference is the charity portion of it. And my favorite presentation is probably Lamar and Leif with FIFA Wallet.
Can you tell me what your name is and what your favorite part about this conference has been?
My name is Oscar. I work for the Banco Department. This conference has been success for me. Yesterday lunch and today lunch, so
awesome.
Everything is great. Thank you for coming and for being the Washington Renaissance Hotel. It's our pleasure. We appreciate your business.
Can you tell us what your name is and your favorite part about the conference?
My name is Nathan Metcalf, and my favorite part about the conference was what was that show that they did last night?
Zutong and Whitey Cracker.
That's what it was. Yeah, that was my favorite part about it.
Can you tell us your name and your favorite part about the conference?
Hi, my name's Craig, and I loved all the fascinating people I met here.
My name's Ashley. I like the increased growth in the community.
My name's Dean, and I love talking to people whose eyes don't glaze over when I talk to them.
My name is Sarah Hody, and my favorite part about the conference is everyone I'm meeting.
Can you just tell us your name and your favorite part about the conference?
Andy, and I work for BitPay, and the conference kicks ass.
Yeah, I'm Scott, and we're with Secure Asset Exchange, and the best part is obviously the community. Great group of people here.
My name is Stephen Mackey, and my favorite part about the conference was finally being able to talk to people that understood what I'm talking about.
Hi, I'm John. We should also mention we're from Black Coin.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm John, or Saint Canoe. What I've probably enjoyed most, getting to meet a lot of new people. That's been good, and I really enjoyed meeting up with, for example, the X-Coin guys. It was great. They're doing a lot of good work, a lot of interesting people. Somebody that I thought was a congressman, but is actually just running for Congress. I think he's a Republican. He just wants money or something.
Can you tell us your name and your favorite part about this conference?
I work here. I'm an employee here.
You didn't have a favorite part?
I mean, I wasn't even involved with this.
Did you have fun serving anyone or anything?
Sure, yeah, I did have fun, yeah.
I'm Jason, and my favorite part about the conference was how friendly everybody has been to all the alt currencies finally.
My name is Farishta, and I found a lot of interesting people to talk about, especially our project in Afghanistan. So I really found this conference useful.
Sure, yeah. My name is Robert David McLeod. I'm a founder of Bitcoin startup, Monetsu.com. I think my favorite part of the conference so far was Vitalik's presentation.
So the favorite part of my conference was definitely Andreas' speech yesterday. I thought that was very well articulated and completely explains the reason why I'm behind Bitcoin.
I'm Emily Vaughn with BitPay, and my favorite part of the conference was being able to talk to everybody about the Bitcoin Bowl and getting to know College Crypto Network, getting involved with those guys. I think what they're doing is really cool. So.
Hi, my name is Jacob. The favorite thing about the Bitcoin in the Beltway is the community and the speakers here.
My name is Esben. I'm from a company called Procurity, and the cool thing about this conference is to see that there's a huge community out there backing Bitcoin, and a lot of new ideas popping up all over the place. So it's really cool.
Yeah, so we've said a million times how awesome the conference was, and that's why we've been thanking our sponsors so much, because it was amazing. And now you know that we weren't just lying, because everybody else is saying the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. Unless, I don't know, it's only audio. Maybe we were holding a gun to them and telling them to say good things, and who knows?
That is possible.
Right, it is possible. You don't know. But yeah, we really did love it, and so did these people. So, sweet. Another thing from the conference. Well, this is only sort of from the conference. The only reason it's from the conference is because we recorded it while we were there. But it's a pretty cool Bitcoin song that John actually wrote. I guess we all wrote it together, but John performed it. And we just recorded it once while we were in the hotel room just for fun. So, this is a Bitcoin song. It's called, John introduces it in this video, which is on YouTube, which you can check out. I'll probably post a link or something in the description for this. But also, he's going to do a more professional recording. Like we said, this was just in the hotel room, just for fun. So keep an eye out for a better recording too, which we'll release eventually.
Maybe it will be in the podcast.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll be right here. So here it goes. This is our Bitcoin song.
Hey, John Stuart, independent musician and Bitcoin user / lover, coming at you from the Bitcoin in the Beltway conference in Washington, D.C. right now. I'm here with Yumi and BTC, who helped me co-write this song, which I'm going to play right now. It's called Bitcoin Blues, in parentheses, every time I bought my first Bitcoin. Yeah, so check it out. All my friends think I'm on drugs, and they won't return my hugs. My family thinks that I've gone nuts, with a closet full of guns. Ever since I bought my first Bitcoin, ever since I bought my first Bitcoin, the only thing I ever bought
All right, that was fun.
Was that where you broke a string, John?
It didn't actually break. It just I don't even know. It just went crazy.
Yeah, we had lots of fun recording that and writing it too. Screwing over Mount Cox and BFL. Actually, Butterfly Labs was at the conference, so.
Yeah, that was actually kind of surprising. We thought people would be really ticked at them, and they weren't for the most part.
You know what I found out? Mycelium was at the conference, and we didn't ever actually went around to talk to them, but they actually had one of their entropy devices there. We could have seen it. That would have been cool.
I think I saw that. I just didn't. I mean, I saw what it was.
Right.
I hadn't seen the Indiegogo thing yet, though.
I think I saw people with T-shirts on, but I didn't know they had anything there.
Right. Yeah. Just for our listeners, if we've talked about it a little bit before, but there's this entropy device, which is basically it's a USB device where you plug it into a printer and it generates a truly random, secure paper wallet that you can just print out with the click of a button, which we think that's pretty cool, and we already ordered one for ourselves. So, but yeah, anyway, we missed that at the conference. So. You're listening to the You, Me, and BTC Podcast. We need your help. First of all, we'd love it if you could check out our website, youmeandbtc.com. There you can find donation addresses for every single article and episode, and we'd love it if you could make use of those. We could also use some fans and followers, so if you're willing, please visit Facebook or Twitter.com/youmeandbtc. Lastly, remember to subscribe to the show. You can do that on iTunes or sign up on our website to receive email updates. Thanks for your support. So we have one more thing that we want to get to. And again, this isn't directly related to the conference other than we just met this guy there, and he has a little bit of an article for us that he wanted us to read, and it's pretty interesting. So, yeah, we're going to read his article about what is money. It's not super long. It's pretty simple. I mean, honestly, I don't know if there's really anything mind-blowing about this other than the fact that it's just really simple. It's the kind of thing that a lot of people need to know. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just it. It's really simple ideas that a lot of people don't understand, but they should. So we're going to read that too.
I don't remember the guy's name, Daniel. What was the name?
Yeah, this is the only name I have is Kang. I mean,
Lou, I think maybe.
Okay.
Kang Lou.
Yeah, he came up to us. I think it was on Sunday, and kind of just asked us if we wanted to read I don't know if he called it like an essay or something like that he had written up about it, and we told him we'd read it on the show here at some point and that we talk about it afterwards. So now I'm going to read it. Okay, so it starts off, what is money? Money is a measure of human labor. The money we earn represents our individual contribution to society and should be a durable symbol of our productive efforts. To distort its value and to debase its purchasing power is immoral, fraudulent, and leads inexorably to debt and enslavement. The control over the money supply is therefore a sovereign power belonging exclusively to the peoples of the world. Money is a measure of what we value and is a reflection of our collective priorities. When it is contrived into existence without informed oversight, it allows those who issue it to purchase and corrupt the political leadership to exert unchecked power. Any elected government that relinquishes the people's power over to the monetary policy becomes captive to a false measure of value, and thus fatally compromises its fiduciary duty to its citizens. Money is a measure of trust. Trust is a subject to transparency and reproducible verification. Central banks that operate in extreme secrecy and remain impenetrable to public audit cannot be trusted. A people unable or unwilling to validate the basic yardstick by which their society measures value are invariably barred from truth and thus virtue and moral governance. Money is a human right. The wealth it represents belongs solely to the individuals whose deliberate pursuit and productive labors result in a transferable unit of value. The right of people to be secure in their wealth against searches and seizures shall not be violated. The right to unconditionally transfer wealth unencumbered by tribute paid to an otherwise undeserved third party is also self-evident. The Federal Reserve creates our money from thin air, but let's be clear, there is nothing federal about the Fed. This private cartel of banks answers to no one in our elected government and claims no fiduciary obligation to the American people. As a matter of policy, the Fed steals from our collective labors by devaluing the purchasing power of our money, but we have been conditioned to know this as inflation. It enslaves the American people through debt and holds our children's futures hostage with interest. It can secure political power through purchase, corrupt our elected officials, and confound all attempts for rational, humane, and moral public policy. Little wonder that money is the root of all evil. Bitcoin is an internet protocol. It is an open source program rooted in the impartial and verifiable logic of mathematics. It is protected by the world's largest distributed computing project, which is transparent and open to everyone. It supports a worldwide ledger that confirms, displays, and records for perpetuity every transaction on the system. This is a technology designed for the decentralized verification of truth, the only real basis for value. Bitcoin can be a store of wealth. Its price is determined not by faith in central bankers, nor by decree of state, but by the free market of willing participants. However, its real value belongs to the individuals who choose science and the unbiased scrutiny of a global network over blind faith and coercion to safeguard the fruits of their labor, guarantee the right of pursuit, and provide for the common defense of liberty. Bitcoin is irrevocably redeemable. It can be transferred at the speed of email in any amount across any boundary to support any friend or to oppose any foe. It is beyond the predation of inflation, currency manipulation, tariffs, taxes, liens, probate, or any judgment of any arbitrary and capricious kleptocracy. It is pseudonymous and ownership is protected by plausible deniability. Yet its existence cannot be feigned to abet a fractional reserve banking system. Since truth is the only real basis for value, and the Bitcoin protocol allows a transparent verification of truth by everyone, Bitcoin is valuable, and therefore Bitcoin is money.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like I said, it's just a lot of really simple ideas, but they're really important too. Money is a measure of human labor. That's an important thing to know. Money is a measure of what we value and a reflection of our collective priorities. That's pretty important too. I really like the next one. Money is a measure of trust. That's something that I think, kind of a lot of people don't think about, I guess. The reason we use money is because we trust other people to accept it, or we trust that the money people give us is legitimate. Stuff like that. And that's something that people forget, I guess. People don't realize that when they put money in the bank, they're trusting the bank. They just assume that nothing is ever going to go wrong with the bank. Well, that's not true. And, I remember it was that book that we talked about a couple episodes ago, Wildcat Currency, and we had the author on to talk with us a little bit. And I remember there was quite a bit of talking in there about how money is kind of based on expectations. You expect that other people are going to use money, and that's what enables you to use it. I think that's kind of related to this trust thing. The next one there is that money is a human right, and that's personally, I think there's a whole lot of things that I could say about rights. And I think some people will maybe misunderstand what rights are and how rights work. And I don't really want to get into all that right now, but that's definitely an interesting thought, that money is a human right. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit maybe obscured. I guess I'm conjecturing about what he means, what's going on behind that phrase. But if you think of money as like what he said at the beginning, that it represents human labor, I think saying that everybody has a right to the result of their labor or the fruits of their labor I think it's pretty easy to say that's a right. And if you think of money as a representation of that, or as kind of like a...
Right.
Yeah, a representation of that.
Right, I would say, money is property, and generally people say that property is a human right. So yeah, that basically fits. I mean, again, I have some interesting thoughts about rights in general that I'm not going to get into now, but that's really, it's pretty simple. I mean, if money is property, which it generally is, then people have a right to hold their own money. People have a right not to have their money stolen and things like that. So the next point there is really important for us. We talk about this all the time. I don't really know that there's much to say. The Fed is bad. That's kind of what the next paragraph is about. And also he mentions how there's nothing federal about the Fed. And that's kind of interesting too. It's privately run. I mean, all of your money is privately created and managed, sort of. That's the thing. Like, it's private companies, it's private people. Like, you don't elect these officials, and yet they still work for the government. It's kind of like the worst kind of private enterprise. Is a private enterprise that works for the government. So it's like people get to make decisions that are enforced on a federal level, but without the accountability that comes with being elected or anything like that. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Do you like how...
Yeah, or at least the supposed
accountability.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because a lot of people be like, well, but the Federal Reserve is private. Well, but anything they do gets put into force by laws, so it's private, but it's not really.
It's like they get all the bad things that come with government, like the power to do things and force things and make things happen without any of the checks, without any of the limitations, which, again, we would say that the checks aren't really enough anyway, but we don't need to get into all that. Then he starts talking about Bitcoin. That's pretty cool. Bitcoin is an internet protocol. Bitcoin can be a store of wealth. That's a tough one for some people because, a lot of people complain, well, you have no clue what's going to happen to the Bitcoin price, right? It's been so volatile in the past. Well, how do we know what it's going to be worth in 10 years? So it is tough for some people to say it's a store of wealth. And in terms of proof, we have none. We have no clue what's going to happen in 10 years. But in a general way, mainly because of that 21 million cap on Bitcoin, I think in a general way, we could probably say that it's going to become more valuable, which makes it legitimate as a store of wealth. I don't know if we have proof there, but I think that works, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the last thing is Bitcoin is irrevocably redeemable. That's kind of a cool thought because I agree with that statement. I mean, if you have a Bitcoin, you're going to have a Bitcoin for as long as you want to have a Bitcoin, and no one can take it away from you. Whenever you want to redeem it, like whenever you want to send it to someone, you'll be able to. It doesn't like disappear or anything. So I agree with that statement. The only thing is, like we just said, you don't know what the value will be. So yes, it will be irrevocably redeemable, but maybe it will be redeemable for nothing, I guess, Sure, if the value goes to zero, you're still going to be able to redeem that Bitcoin just for nothing, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, because it's not relying on a bank, the bank can't just fall apart and then just no one really take the paper besides just to burn it. But, I mean, no matter what the value of the Bitcoin's at, I mean, I guess you could say, like, if everyone dies or something like that, then if you're the last person there, then it's not really redeemable, but as long as there's another person there, there's the possibility of it being denied. It's not like a bank can't just fail and then you're just completely incapable of redeeming it then.
Yeah, I guess I was just going to say, you kind of said it. I guess, like, if every single node were to somehow, like, just die, then maybe it wouldn't be redeemable, but the probability of that happening is pretty low.
Right. And then there's just the last bit, and he closes with Bitcoin is money, which, I think we would generally agree. I mean, there's a bazillion definitions of money, and I don't know, maybe there's even a bazillion definitions of Bitcoin, but I think we would generally agree that Bitcoin is money, or at least it's becoming money, especially over time. I think it will be more useful as money. So, Yeah, that's a good conclusion, I think.
I actually kind of wish the second half of this one would have been pretty good for when we were talking with Winter. It's just pretty concise explanation of why Bitcoin's important, I guess. Kind of what I was trying to do, but worded much better and pretty well written. At the end, he says, like, the Bitcoin protocol allows the transparent verification of truth by everyone. I never really thought about that, but, like, it's kind of true. It's kind of true. Yeah, I mean, you could get, like, metaphysical and be like, well, nothing is really true or whatever, but having that whole ledger there is kind of like maybe the closest that we can get to actually, like, proving things that are true. And not even just money, like we talked about it with content and ownership and stuff too, of digital things at least. That's pretty interesting. I'd never, like, thought about it in that big of a scale.
Right. He says truth is the only real basis for value. That's a really loaded statement, and like you said, it could get crazy metaphysical or something. Just using the word truth can get crazy, and then using just the word value can get kind of crazy, but saying truth is the only real basis for value, that's a real powerful statement, and that's, I think, a whole bunch of really smart people could talk about things like that forever, so. Sweet. Anything else we want to add? So I guess I'll just say again, this was from someone named Kang that we met at the Bitcoin conference. Thanks for letting us read this article. Pretty interesting thing about what is money. So I guess that's it then for our Bits and Pieces episode. Hopefully at least one of the bits or one of the pieces was somewhat interesting to you. Maybe the whole thing was, but you never know. When Tim's here, tends to make things less interesting, so anyway. Yeah, so thanks for joining us, and come back next Thursday. Or remember that you can tune in Monday nights at 7 on Chain Radio. We'd love it if you could do that too. So, we'll see you sometime in the future. Thanks for listening to episode 31. All of the music in today's show was written and recorded by John Stuart. We'll see you next Thursday online or next Monday at 7 Eastern on Chain Radio.